Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Captain America Issue 12, 2023. Ooh, gnarly looking cover there, kind of looking like death and everything, which we do hit on in this issue. We are getting close. We're at Legacy 762, man. We're getting up there. We'll get there to almost 800 soon, so let's crack into this. So, we pretty much start off in Chicago. We've got Cap that's got most of the people that he's gathered for the front door, so let's see what's going on. How long until we land in New York? A little over 2 hours, Carlos. Then an hour's drive from the private airfield to the front door cabaret. Drive? We can't just helicopter over? Putting everyone into a single chopper over New York when we're pretty sure death is waiting for us there, Becca. It's too big of a risk. Individual moving targets will be safer. Very true there, Steve. Also, less of a drop if anything goes wrong. That too. Captain Rogers, welcome aboard. Thanks. I'll get your cycle loaded up. Meanwhile, you may want to open that envelope. I'm guessing it's for you, but I'm not touching it. Why not? Because it wasn't on the seat when we took off to come here. I do not blame the pilot. That is... Okay. Granted, that's a good kind of operating procedure to have in our world, but in a Marvel universe, yeah. So, he opens it. Steven, you're almost home, but this leg of the journey will be the most dangerous. So I have some of my energy. So I've poured some of my energy into each of these rings you will find here. They will help you complete the mission. Interesting. We'll have to see how that kind of works out. But definitely like the reaction of the pilot. It's like, yeah, this is kind of nutty. Though my brother continues to block my efforts to locate him, I believe he has chosen to join the battle personally, assuming physical form just as I did, to do whatever is required to ensure that none of you, especially the most powerful among you, ever reach here alive. And of course we see Malik pretty much as the most powerful one in reference on that. We'll see how that kind of goes. When you arrive, we will be taking extraordinary measures to ensure his safety and that of the others here. Which brings me to something I have decided you must know, a choice only you can, Captain. Sorry, never sure how I should refer to you when you're not in uniform. Just Steve is fine, Julie. It'll take a bit to refuel Noda. Can I talk to you alone for a minute? Sure thing. And she wonders, Malik's supposed to be so powerful. Why doesn't he see what I'm going to do? What I have to do? And why do I feel like someone should be handing me a pouch with 30 pieces of silver right about now? So, have you worked, how long have you worked with Malik, Julie? It's like, we see that Becca's having, it's like, what the fuck's kind of going on here? 2 years, ever since my parents died. He didn't know them, but he still blames himself for what happened. It's like, kind of understand that you have those kind of powers. He had a vision about them, and me, but by the time he found us, it was too late. I had nowhere to go, so he asked me to come with him on this journey. And it's been amazing. I'm not stupid. I know you're about to go to war against death itself, but it's a war that can't be won, not by Lyra or you or even Malik, so please, let Malik go. Julie, we all die sooner or later. You really think you stand a chance against the natural order of the universe? Which is interesting because we have, like, the gods talking about the natural order of the universe in that series. But Julie actually feels better here than how she was kind of, like, talking again with Carlos in the last one. You can't beat death. No one can. Don't try to patronize me, Julie, and don't just tell me I'm wrong. You are not wrong. It's funny. It's like, let him speak. Understandably, you do have a good point. It's like, we're fighting against death. How do we do this shit? I'm not kidding myself. As soon as I figured out the kind of fight I was being pulled into, I knew right then that we couldn't win. And why do it? There's an order every soldier knows, expects, and dreads. It comes when your CO looks at the map, sees where the enemy is, what they're doing, and where they're going, and knows they have to be slowed down or stopped no matter the cost. Sometimes you fight the battle because you think you can win. Other times you fight the battle even though you know you can't win because the job ends with making sure the other guys don't win either. And that's the truth. Like, there are certain situations like that where you have to deal with it like that. You're right, we can't destroy death. It's impossible. We probably can't even give him a paper cut. But if putting ourselves on the firing line buys the human race enough time for Lyra to figure something out, then that's where we should be. It's like, yeah, sometimes fighting is just fighting, brawling, and whatever. Sometimes fighting is for a delaying tactic. Sometimes it's to figure some other kind of way out to make sure that you can maybe even talk to somebody or something and try and get a reasonable point across. Death wants to wipe out the human race and start over. That makes the consequences of walking away unacceptable. We're good to go when you are, Steve. The Guardian said that Malik can see the future, at least a little. I think the fact that he's coming with us means we have at least a chance. That's because you don't know him. You don't know either of them. It's like, yeah, sure, alright. Now we get here. And he thinks, it has been so long since I've known this form. So long since I have walked these paths, and beheld the weary eyes of the futility of it all, as we see death in their physical form. As we see his presence killing these weeds, and then even this one dude. I give you a great gift. Freedom from the pain and struggle. We had such hopes in the beginning, as we see that guy dies. And then, we get the backstory. In the place we called the Pale City, which... this is definitely where the art shines, showcasing these colorful kind of people and this city. If there were other pale cities and other places for other beings, we neither knew nor cared. We knew and cared only that we lived in beauty. We lived to serve. And she was there, Lyra, the greatest of us all. My opposite, my mirror self, my companion, the sister to my purpose and my heart. It's like, that's interesting how he explains it that way. And then we see both of them. And that's very kind of cool. Now, granted, I wish there was a little bit more definition on the death one, but that's alright. Where some serve purposes vast and cosmic, sending comets and planets spiraling through the chancel of stars, our purpose, or purposes infinitesimal and profound, circumscribing the orbit of atoms and the delicate tracery of butterfly wings, we had but one purpose, to serve humanity, and for Lyra to aid and heal and bestow hope and life in equal measure. Interesting. Good to understand that as we see them looking over humans. Now we see deaths. And I, where necessary, brought an end that also healed. I kind of like that. But see, he's gone kind of past that and where he's at now. This, I understand that in the beginning. No matter the pain or infirmity that they endured, as the end drew near, my part was to catch their spirits, to love and gentle them from this world to the next. Cool. Interesting job there. For they were beautiful as we were beautiful, and their power, their stubborn nobility, and the majesty of their dreams deserved no less. Then we get here, and this is a really gnarly looking one page here. Even in wars unjust and cruel, there were moments of sacrifice, honor, and great courage. Those I shepherded one at a time softly through the veil. Yep. And those for whom there was neither honor nor fairness, who reveled in slaughter and misery, those I delivered to the Hall of Shadows, where their tormented screams would echo throughout eternity. I served humanity. I believed in humanity. I loved humanity. And it's like, okay, he tried to balance as much as possible. But then we start getting here. And then, 1st of July, 1916, the Battle of Somme, 57,000 casualties in a single day. 1,219,201 casualties in 4 months. No. And then, Stalinist Russia, 1930, 6 million killed. Please. And then Europe, World War II, 11 million killed in the Holocaust. 15 million soldiers killed in action. No more. And then, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 120,000 killed in 2.3 seconds. No, 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 no. And then, Maoist Cultural Revolution, 30 million deaths. I can't bear it. It's too much. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And I get that. That, when you have a certain kind of job with death, and then it, or even any kind of job, when it accelerates to that kind of level, where you're like, World War I, millions. And then exponentially more, and then being able to kill like 120,000 people in 2.3 seconds, and then 30 million deaths in like another one. It's just, it would break someone, and it broke death. Stop it. We had fought and taught and strived together for thousands of years, believing that the human race was worthy of those efforts, that it would be a bright light bringing hope to the universe. We were wrong. If this monstrousness is the true face and future of the human race, then the human race deserves no future. As we see that it has broken death. And that is a powerful page, just seeing him in darkness and despair. It's just like, shit. And that's the thing. There could be a lot of people that just, or just those centralized in power that do these horrible things, that enable other people to do these horrible things. But that doesn't mean everybody should be wiped out. Because then you're just kind of following that kind of example, and you have to be careful there. I won't lie to you, the odds are against us. But Lyra sent along a gift for each of us to go with the ear mics I gave you on takeoff. Rings imbued with her power that should give us some measure of protection when we're near death. As long as he doesn't actually touch you, you should be fine. Should be. Didn't come with a warranty, Guardian, because we see Steve now in his outfit, giving everybody the lowdown. Isn't this how Frodo ended up walking into a world of trouble? Because that story didn't end well at all. Star Wars, right? I kind of like Steve just being like, I know what you're talking about because I've read that shit, but he's just kind of fucking with him. Don't even try. And then we see Becca put on the ring, but then it goes and then pretty much fucks itself up. It's like, oh, that, no good. I noticed the letter came with the rings. Was there anything we should know? No, it was a personal note. And then we pretty much get the finishing of it, pretty much just reiterating Lyra trying to give him home. Ooh. Ah, I thought that was folded over. Which brings me to something I've decided you must know, a choice only you can make. I have heard you called a man out of time, but we both know this is not correct. We all pass out of the time we first came into. That is what home is for, a place we can return to when the times grow unfamiliar. I actually like that. That is true. Time always moves on, but in having your own kind of place, your own kind of home, it helps center you. And that is what you've never truly known. Having lost your friends and family, untimely ripped from the era in which you were born, you have been seeking a place where you can call your own, where you can rest and live your life full measure. You are not a man out of time. You are a man forever trying to come home. And I kind of agree with that interpretation of Steve. Because, yes, he has different kind of views on the world. He's lived through vast swaths of shit. But he's normally been labeled the man out of time, but I do like this of, like, it's mainly his ability to have a home. Once the others are safely within the front door, I will do something at the very edge of my ability that I've never done before. I thought it had nothing to do with you, but I now see now that I was in error. You have earned that which I alone can give you: peace, the opportunity to lay down your burden and simply live. This is your chance, at long last, to come home. But you must be here when the others arrive before I do that which I must do, or the moment will be lost forever. Okay, folks, we're about to touch down, so strap in those seatbelts. So I'll have to see how that kind of works out. The main thing with Steve is that I think you should be able to showcase an ability where he understands his power and his responsibility. That's kind of, I think, what links him up so much with Spider-Man, and why Spider-Man has such a strong connection with him. Steve is very reluctant to lay down those burdens. It's kind of a thing that I have as well, but that's why I identify with him so much, and usually those really good Cap characters like Sam and all that. That's just, will he do that? He has to have that kind of safety place where he can do that, and those people to pick up those burdens as well, because he doesn't feel right doing that, and I get that. So we'll have to see what kind of works out with this. It's going to be a bit bumpy. Okay, here's the plan. Becca, you're driving the truck with Julie and Malik. Carlos, you'll be on the bike behind them, bringing up the rear. Perfect. What about me? You ride while fly shotgun. Malik and the rest are our primary concern, so stay right overhead. Remember, once we start, we don't slow down and we don't stop. Not for anyone or anything. And where will you be riding? The tip of the spear. And okay, this is really kind of cool to see that, and I like him having that line. Now, I'm a Halo fan. And, of course, there's the video game Halo Reach, Tip of the Spear, and then I immediately just started getting pretty much the Halo soundtrack in my head that was going on with that, because that were the Spartans. They were the tip of the spear. That poof, they'd go in and wreck it. So then we get this really awesome page showcasing Steve as the tip of the spear. We get the Guardian up there, Carlos on the bike. They're on their way. I can feel them. The front door cabaret. This is Is this really it, Lyra? Yes, Dex. Should I try to get hold of anyone who's not already here? No need. As soon as I felt them land, notes appeared where notes needed to appear, which is kind of cool. It's like, that's a very good communication system. Once everyone can make it here has done so, make sure none of them leave. If they're outside when it happens, I know, don't worry. I'll do what's necessary. Good. Now to tell the rest. May I have your attention, please? The last of us that we have been awaiting is en route, but we and those with him will be encountering terrible dangers. Some of you will want to leave here and join the fight, but I'm asking you to resist that instinct and remain here, because if you step out that door, it is doubtful that you'll ever step back in again. And we see her, like, very concerned for them, but sometimes people have that call and they've got that kind of ability to help, even if they don't come back from it. Echoing Steve with the whole battle. Going back to the weather now. How's it looking down there, Dr. Bob? Well, Melanie, it was looking pretty good until about 5 minutes ago. Then a cold front came out of nowhere, bringing a significant drop in temperature, cloud cover, gray skies, and I'm definitely feeling a bit of rain happening. It's, as we see, shit starting to go kind of nutty. And this really gets nutty. Hang on, Bob, we lost power. Yeah, no kidding. Looks like the whole block's down. We can still record. Nope, battery pack's also dead. All of them. You know my voice. You have heard it in the still of the night, when the only other sound is the beating of your desperate heart. When you feared that death was coming for you. This is that moment. But this time, the moment is real. As we see that he's talking to a lot of different people, and they're all being like, this ain't good. I pledged eons ago that I would not directly take the lives of humans before their time, but I am breaking that oath on my own and through you. It's like, as we see him utilizing his power, it's like, that's crazy looking there. Because no one is as skilled at killing humans as other humans. I'd say that's pretty accurate, though granted, you could check a lot of different kind of animals and everything that can take our asses out and be like, they've got kind of a better advantage on that. I share with you now my power, the power of death itself, and unlock your most violent instincts. If you take up arms to stop those I wish destroyed, that power will be released and you will live. If you fail to do so, then that power will destroy you. It's like, you fucking prick. Stop them. Kill them. Do as you must, or take the consequences. As we see everybody kind of like rambling together, getting weapons, making barricades and shit. Guardian, how's the road ahead? Not good. So we shift over. It's like, yeah. Then we see to be continued as they pretty much set up a giant blockade, and this is going to be tough because Death has now created all of these human shields, and it's just hard, especially when you're fighting like that, but that's what it is. That's how you kind of have to do it sometimes, because you've got people that are using threats of violence against others to get them to do their dirty work. But even though that's the case, that doesn't mean you just take their asses out. So we'll have to see how Steve and Guardian and the rest go through this. What are going to be the repercussions? So let's see. Captain America issue 13. As the Krakoan era ends, mutants need allies more than ever, and Captain America is determined to get his group of mutant change agents to the front door cabaret alive. As Death pulls out all the stops to destroy them, Captain America has a choice. Protect the change agents or protect his own future. But one of the rescue mutants has their own ideas, and intends to make the decision for him. It's like, oh shit. So, I really enjoyed this one. I liked that we got more iteration on Lyra doing this stuff with trying to get Steve a home. And I think that's an important bit. We've also seen that echoed within the MCU version of Cap as well. Though I think the whole time travel aspect on that kind of created more problems than it was worth. But having Steve kind of create that kind of home, because he had the Avengers. He would go and talk to Natasha and Black Widow and check in on her and talk with the rest of the people and everything, and those were his home. Though granted, he still loved Peggy. Here, I liked that kind of brought up, though it's like, okay, we kind of had this iterated. This is more kind of teasing what Lyra is going to do to kind of make that home, so we'll see how this kind of works out on that front. I really like that we got the deep dive into the dynamic between Lyra and Death, and how Death was broken because of all of the gigantic amounts of death that we could we started to be able to build up to, going from the usual kind of shit that kind of went on in unjust wars that would kind of pop up to like millions and millions of people being killed because of how effective we created killing machines. Now I've broken to the point that he just wants to wipe us out because of that monstrousness. It's like, shit, that really fucking broke him. We'll have to see what kind of goes on with this, because it's not going to be your typical win scenario where you punch out the bad guy, take some kind of cosmic thing, and shove it up their ass. This, you have to try and help someone heal on that front, and I think Lyra's endgame is to attempt to help her brother heal on that front, but I think it's going to be some kind of sacrifice that could potentially create them into one being that is trying to balance that out potentially, especially since she's more kind of setting up Steve to be that kind of guardian over the mutants and change agents and people that she has at the Front Door Cabaret. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of works out and everything. And I like the art of the Pale City, the representations of Lyra in Death's form and everything. We'll see how this kind of works out and how this will kind of end and what kind of story arcs will come after this. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.